to what the president announced today, let me just walk through several of those elements. As he said, this week he will sign a new executive order enabling us to immediately sanction those who directed the coup, their business interests, and their close family members. We are imposing strong export controls, and we are freezing U.S. assistance that benefits the Burmese government, while, as I have said, maintaining our support for healthcare, civil society groups, and other areas that benefit the Burmese people directly. Importantly, as protests grow, Burma's military leaders need to know that violence against those who peacefully assert their democratic rights will not be tolerated. The United States will take note of those who stand with the people of Burma at this moment of crisis. You asked about what the president alluded to regarding the blocking of funds. The president said the U.S. government has taken steps to prevent the generals from improperly accessing more than $1 billion in Burmese government funds held in the United States. It wouldn't be appropriate for me from the Department of State to go further into that, but what I can say, it is all part and parcel of a strategy to ensure that those responsible for this coup, those responsible for the overthrow of civilian rule and democracy in Burma face substantial costs, that they face substantial pressure. As the president has said, we will be detailing those steps further this week.
Can you give any details about what he means by improperly accessing, or how that amount of money came to accumulate in U.S.?
I would need to refer you to the Department of Treasury for any further details on that. As the president alluded to, however, we will have additional details about our broad policy response to the coup in Burma this week. Anything?
Singapore and Japan.
So again, working with our closest partners, our like-minded partners around the world, we can have the most impact. We can impose the most substantial costs on those who are responsible for this coup, this overthrow of civilian leadership in Burma. Follow up on Burma.
Since many military leaders were already under U.S. sanctions, what kind of effect do you think these new sanctions can have? How confident you are that they can reverse the coup, if you think they can?
Well, we think that we can certainly impose substantial costs on those who are responsible for this. We can impose substantial costs ourselves. We can impose costs that are even more, that are even steeper, as I said before, by working with our like-minded partners and allies. So we haven't yet detailed the specifics behind that, but as we do so over the course of this week, it will be very clear to those around the world, but especially to the military elements in Burma who are responsible for this, that the costs for their anti-democratic action will be steep.
Does this mean efforts to have a dialogue with people in Burma are over, because this risks complicating any efforts to get a dialogue to bring power back to the democratic elements of government, and also does it risk pushing Burma into further into China's arms or further into China's sphere of influence?
Well, I think first and foremost, we are most concerned with the people of Burma. We stand with the people of Burma and support their right to assemble peacefully, including their right to protest peacefully in support of the democratically elected government, the right to freedom of expression, including the freedom to seek, receive, and impart information both online and offline. I think to your question, the fact that we continue to see these demonstrations throughout the streets in Burma indicate where the Burmese people are, what their aspirations for democracy are. We will stand with them. Look, I think what we are most concerned with is a restoration of civilian leadership and putting an end to these anti-democratic actions, this coup. So again, I think we have heard the international community speak out broadly. Of course, there was a UN Security Council statement issued last Friday that included a number of our partners and others with whom we don't typically have a close relationship speaking out against these actions. So in the first instance, that is our priority, standing with the people of Burma, together with our like-minded allies, our like-minded partners, leaving no doubt for the people of Burma as they continue to voice their aspirations for a return to democracy and take to the streets, that we are standing with them, that we are supporting them, but also leaving no doubt with those responsible for this coup.